Hello, good people. How are you today? Hope your day is going well. Today is June 4th, so that makes it the fourth day of the Uterine Cancer Awareness Month. And as a uterine health advocate, because that's what I consider myself now, I think it's important to align myself with this month of awareness because June is the month for Uterine Cancer Awareness Month, and try to post as much, if not every day, um, information about uterine health, uterine cancer that I hope will be very beneficial, encouraging, and just bring knowledge to you. So I want to say I thank you very much for journeying along with me through my own personal uterine health journey, and then as I'm posting very valuable information. So I want to say thank you. So per usual, I want to say my disclaimer is I'm not a medical doctor, and the full disclaimer is, of course, per always, in the description if you would love to go and read that lovely statement. Okay, so today I thought I would take a different turn and I thought I would share a testimony, a personal testimony, my own personal testimony. And I don't believe I've ever shared this before, but I'm going to share it now if I haven't, or maybe I haven't gone into details. So my testimony today has everything to do with this book that I told you I was going to get the other day, and I think I spoke about it, and the author, which is Dr. Kemi Doll, right? So this is the book. So during my 2025 health journey, I was on social media and Dr. Kemi Doll popped up. You know how the algorithm is. It just, she just pops up. And so I listened to her. And then I like how she introduced herself because she introduced herself, says, "Hi, I'm Dr. Kemi Doll. I'm a double certified gynecological, hope I got that right, gynecological oncologist and a uterine cancer scientist." And then she presented some, she made another statement, or maybe I believe she made another statement. And then she shared that she wrote a book. And then she said she wrote this book and it was coming out May 2026. So I just love how in every video, she starts off that way, that I'm a double board certified. And then, of course, what really intrigued my mind, I was very impressed to see that she was double certified. I was like, well, what does that mean, Lord? That sounds nice. But the fact that she was a uterine cancer scientist. And all the more, too, when she started talking about the book and the title, "It's a Terrible Strength," right? And she said, "The Hidden Crisis of the Black Womb and Your Survival Guide to Healing." So this meant I felt like, and she is a Black woman who wrote this book, a Black doctor. So I felt this was a book that was centralized to me, but I'm sure anyone can benefit from it. So that's all the more reason I was intrigued by her and some of the things that she posts on her Instagram page and the upcoming book. So I'm not sure where I was in my journey when I first started, when she started coming up in my feed. But I do believe it was before May 2025. And each time I would see her, she was talking about her upcoming book. And I saw a couple more posts about it, and she was always giving out some good information. So again, I said to myself, this is a book that I might be interested in. But I do remember, I started getting emotional. I do remember when she was talking about her book. I do remember saying out loud to God, because at that time, it was May, it was the year prior, and you could pre-order the book in advance if you wanted to. And when you pre-order a book, the book comes out, whenever the book comes out, you get your book, right? So I do remember praying out loud to God, saying that I did not want to pre-order her book. I wanted to make sure that I was alive in 2026 to buy her book. Her book was coming out May in 2026. So I saw this in 2025. And I remember saying that prayer out loud. And I just want you to keep in mind what would make me say that statement is, if you've seen the previous videos, I've lost 2 friends one to endometrial cancer, the other one to ovarian cancer, and they both died within the year of their diagnosis, right? And so this is still the early, I'm so grateful, you guys. This is still the early part of my journey and us figuring out what's going on with my body. So I do have those thoughts in my mind. And of course, whose report you're going to believe, the report of the Lord. I know all of those things, but people are human, and it's okay to have human thoughts and concerns. You just can't stay there. Um, but that's where my mind was. And that's what I said out loud to the Lord. I did not want to pre-order her book. I wanted to be alive to be able to buy her book when it came out. So, yeah. Anyway, I've been emotional every time I think about the statement as well, the prayer out loud. So now it's 2026. And of course, I'm still following Dr. Doll and all of her wonderful information that she puts out. And I see that she's going to have a book signing. And I was just like, oh, wow, how exciting. And then I look, she's going to have a book signing tour. And then I looked to see where she was going to be. And I was hoping she was going to be in my city because I was willing to go to the closest city I could. And lo and behold, she came to Chicago. So I registered, and at that time, I did pre-order my book so that I can have it that day. And I pre-ordered it because I didn't know. Sometimes when you go to the book signings, they sign the books ahead of time, and when you get your book's already signed. This time she did it afterwards. So I was just, excited to know that she was coming to Chicago, and I would have the opportunity to not only buy the book, but to, see her live and in person. So I was so excited. I was also excited about this very thing. I'm an avid book reader, and I do believe in supporting my local independently owned bookstores. That's a very huge thing for me. So I was happy that this particular book signing tour talk was being held at a local independent bookstore that's owned by a Black woman, and it's in the city of Chicago. So I thought, perfect, because I wanted to support and there's nothing wrong if you go to the big box stores. I go to them as well, but I wanted to have the opportunity to support the smaller. I'm really big on small businesses anyway. So I did have an opportunity to meet Dr. Kemi Doll, and I did share my testimony. And of course, I teared up. I said to myself, this doctor probably hears so many powerful testimonies along her tours and as she's meeting people. But she was very kind and, and just very much listened to what I had to say. So, and also I asked a question during the Q&A and she answered it. She gave me some very valuable information because I do have an upcoming biopsy, and I have been on the progesterone, and I just really wanted to know what kind of questions does she think I should be prepared to ask my doctor next Tuesday. So she was very helpful. And then she's a very smart, very knowledgeable person. And to be a scientist in uterine health, uterine cancer is just phenomenal to me. But one of the other beautiful moments that I took away from the evening was that I knew that I would be in a room where I would be probably one of, or maybe the only that wasn't a doctor. I could just see them coming in, the doctors. I don't know why, I just knew they were doctors. So here I am sitting in a room full of gynecologists, and it was just beautiful. Sitting in a room full of gynecologists that was women. How wonderful. Sitting in a room full of gynecologists that were women, and they were Black. I thought to myself, my ancestors, and this was a small bookstore, and I know there's a lot more out there, right? But just to be in the room, I was almost giddy, and people don't get that, but maybe the younger generation might take stuff like this for granted. I saw younger doctors in the room, doctors around my age. It was just so beautiful. And there were, a few men in the audience, which I thought was great because there are men gynecologists. I saw other ethnicities there. I saw some white doctors there, which I was very happy to see that people was coming to learn, talk, and to buy her book. It was just such a beautiful, I think, to me, moment. I don't know. Some people fan out maybe over celebrities and things of that nature. I kind of fan out when I just see the beauty of progress. I fan out when I see, yeah, I just look for the good in everything. So my testimony is that my prayer out loud, just totally came into fruition, and I'm still here, and I'm getting good reports from every time I have a biopsy, ultrasound, and all the things. If you follow the journey. So that was my testimony, and I just thought I would share it because I don't think I've ever shared that out loud with anybody. And so I did start reading the book. Actually, started reading it when I was there. And what I like about the book so far too is I like when doctors write books. They write it for everybody, I'm sure, but at least a lay person so far, like myself, can read it, and I'm very excited about that. So that's that. I was going to try to tell you what some of the things that's in her book. So to me, it's not a very big book. I read books. If you know me, or if you don't know me, I guess I'm going to be sharing with you a lot today. I am an avid book reader, and I read a lot of different type of genres of books, and I think it's important to have certain books in your home. If you saw my video on research, I talked about how, it's good to do internet research, but things can disappear, things can be changed. But when you get a hard book, this kind of book to me is a reference book for me. It might, if you go to a bookstore, it might be under women's health, which that is what it is too. But these are the things that I think that people need to have in their library of their home. And for me, I do, and I did share with you my books that I do have about women's health, but this is the first book that I have that's about women's health that's written by a Black doctor. And I feel so honored to add that to my shelf, right? And there's nothing wrong with the other doctors. They all give good information as well. But this one is, and I've read other books by doctors that share their experience and things like this, but this one is like written for women. And if there's another one out there, I haven't seen it. So I'm very happy to see this. And so I just wanted to share, she talks about a lot of things in the book, but, she talks about the origin series of where we all started, how we live, the 4 conditions of the womb. And she talks about how we heal and changing the script of how we heal, because everything is not for everybody. What may work for you may not work for me. And one of the things that she said, I wish I'd have brought my notes here. Oh, they're on the phone that's recording, as a matter of fact. But one of the things that she said that I thought was so true, and I did mention this as well in one of my videos, is that, the father of gynecology is, well respected and things of that nature, but not just him, but others have also used Black women's bodies with no anesthesia to perform so much research. You think about Henrietta Lacks. Oh my goodness, I have that book too. I mean, that's a good book to read. And her family never profited from all of the things the science industry gained from Henrietta Lacks. They never got a dime, as far as I know. And she made the statement that we should be going to our doctors as Black women. We should really be honoring our ancestors that way, because they had things done to them that they had no control, because they were slaves or didn't have the power to say yes or no. And because of them and they're in the science, we're here now. So when she said that, that also resonated with me, because many of our ancestors didn't go to the doctor. Our mothers and our grandmothers, they didn't go to the doctors either. So we have this science before us. We have this opportunity. Oh, the door just opened, scared me. We have this opportunity to be healed and not die of the same things our ancestors did. So why not take advantage of going to the doctor? And when you get to the doctor, advocating for yourselves, right? And don't ever forget that part too, that we Black women were greatly used for so many different types of testing, and that has been beneficial to modern science. So we are the product of our ancestors, although they didn't have the power to say no. But because of them, we are here and living stronger, healthy lives, right? So I went on a different tangent, but that's okay. So again, this is my testimony regarding this book and why it meant so much for me to be able to go get this book. This is a book, and I haven't finished it, but once I do, I will give you my thoughts about it. I'm sure this is a kind of book that I probably will be highlighting and have sticky notes everywhere. But to me, I already know this is a type of book that I would want to, um, have a book discussion with, like a book club or something like that, just to see how other women are sharing and how it resonates with them. And she says she even shares her own personal journey in here as well. So thank you so much again for listening. I hope that my testimony, I don't know what it would do for you, but at least you know why the book was so important to me and that you understand that you are important as well. So if you're not feeling well, you're having some kind of bleeding, spotting, cramping in your stomach, go see your doctor. Don't take it as it's not important and you're not important, because I think to myself all the time, what if I didn't go to the doctor? I would have never known about the growth of my uterine lining, and there's no telling what my prognosis would be today. So I hope that encourages you on this fourth day of Uterine Cancer Awareness Month, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.